Good morning, everyone. It's very good to see you again today. I hope you rested well and feel settled this morning. Let's take a few moments to reconnect with ourselves, with yourself, and with the intention that all these activities may benefit to all sentient beings. Yesterday we talked about Buddha nature and came to understand that this potential already lives within us. We also discussed the states of meditation, how we gently train the mind to become stable, clear, and open, so that we can begin to recognize this true nature, Buddha nature. So today we continue to go a little bit deeper into it, and we will look more closely at how we begin to recognize awareness itself and how this recognition become real and alive in our daily lives. So you all are here to listen, to observe, and to become familiar with this deeper or deep inner capacity. So Buddha nature is not something far away from us, right? It's our kind of like home. So if Buddha nature is our home, our true home, then meditation is the path that leads us there, right? It's only through meditation that we can discover this beautiful Buddha nature home that's always been there, just hidden in the kind of jungle of our emotions. So now you know that you have this beautiful home in the middle of the jungle, but there is no clear path to reach that beautiful home yet. So you must take a kind of difficult journey if you want to reach there. Whatever is there on the path, whether it goes uphill or downhill, whatever, you have to keep going. Don't turn back to this old broken house, right? This broken home emotions and all this kind of, worldly. There are lots of distractions. So we have to create the relationship between Buddha nature and meditation practice, because that is how we begin to discover this nature And whatever arises in the mind, we must take it as the path or as part of the path. So, as I said yesterday, meditation is not always easy. So, whatever arises in the mind, we need to understand it is the part of this path, you know. So, for meditation, we need to clear and reliable instructions. That's why we talked about the what do you call it, three stages of meditation yesterday, and we talked about all these methods and because meditation is very important. Through meditation, only meditation, you know, we can discover this Buddha nature. So sometimes we feel like disconnected with our meditation. So I got, you know, talked about and give you some ideas how to reconnect, you know, with your meditation. So I hope some of those ideas were inspiring and helpful for your practice. So these teachings are not just information; they are invitation to recognize the great potential and capacity you already have within you. So it's very important. Once you receive some teachings and some instructions, you have to try. They may not work. They may, you know, but at least, you know, you have to try, and sometimes you have to put them into your practice to see. Maybe some these instructions really helpful, some are not. If not, then doesn't matter. You can leave it outside, find something else. But if they're helpful, because I feel like these days lots of people feel that, you know, disconnected with their meditation. So it's important to, if you want to practice Buddha nature, or if you want to practice, you know, like even basic meditations like mindfulness and all this kind of important meditation that really helps, you know, in our daily life. So we need not just to meditate, but some good methods, you know. Now, if Buddha nature is the seed, then today we begin watering that seed, kind of, you know, learning how to rest in awareness and how to live from it, and how to open the heart and cultivate these qualities, you know, like clarity and wisdom, compassion, all this in our daily life, right? The point, the teaching, you know, you receive teachings and then you meditate, not just sit, right? Sit and meditate, not like that. You have to bring that teaching into your daily life, because that's the most, you know, important time, day-to-day life. So we have to bring that into, like, you know, wisdom, compassion in your daily life. As we practice, we will discover our basic goodness, Buddha nature. Then you can recognize this perfect Buddha in your mind. Then you feel something different. You feel like respect, appreciation, whatever. You feel, you know, brings you, this kind of knowledge or whatever recognition brings you, oh, I'm something special. I don't want to waste my time, you know. So that's why I think at least, Buddha nature, some, the recognized Buddha nature is not that difficult, not that easy. It depends on, your basic sort of the foundations, But at least if you understand what is Buddha nature and how, we all have this basic goodness, I think it brings you really something, precious. So Buddha nature, according to the Uttara Tantra, this is very important Buddhist teaching that there are lots of informations about Buddha nature. So there are at least 3 important reasons why all sentient beings are never separate from Buddha nature. So I want to talk a little bit about that, because otherwise, people, we always say we all have this potential basic goodness always within us, but how do we know? The Uttara Tantra, it says all beings possess Buddha nature because the Dharmakaya is naturally radiant. Dharma Dhat, which means ultimate nature, is indivisible. Second. Third, and the potential for awakening is present in everyone. I'll just quote, this from Uttara Tantra. So there are 3 reasons why do we never separate from our Buddha nature. So now the first reason we all possess Buddha nature is that even like ordinary beings, beings through practice, they can manifest the primordial wisdom of the Dharmakaya, which is naturally radiant. So here, Uttara Tantra, according to this text, Dharmakaya, right? Dharmakaya refers here to the ultimate nature of Buddha, the Buddhas or Buddha. It's, like formless, that is beyond birth and death. Okay, Dharmakaya. It is the unchanging, luminous ground of beings. So Dharmakaya is naturally radiant, means that the fundamental nature of reality. Radiant here doesn't mean light, but refers to a natural clarity and knowing. That's what it means. Uttara Tantra said Dharmaka is radiant, naturally, like sort of natural clarity and knowing. In Buddhism, this is often described as emptiness, right, with awareness, or emptiness inseparable from wisdom. That's why they call Dharmakaya is radiant within you, meaning emptiness with awareness, or emptiness that, inseparable from your this insight, knowledge, the great wisdom. And when it says the Dharmaka is naturally radiant, it is saying that reality itself is pure and unobscured. Is that so? Yeah, keep that in mind. In this Uttratanta, it's a Dharmakaya is naturally radiant. That's the first reason why we, all sentient beings, not only human beings, but all sentient beings, possess this basic goodness, the Buddha nature. So, is that a good reason to say all beings possess Buddha nature? According to Uttratanta, yes. Within the Mahayana teachings, it is a good reason. Why? Because Buddha nature is not something only special beings have. This radiant and pure true nature is something we all possess. That means you don't have to create Buddha nature. You only have to recognize this ultimate nature. You can't create. So we all have the potential to awaken and manifest as a Buddha, just as Buddha Shakyamuni did. So Buddha Shakyamuni must, I would say, have had the potential to become a Buddha. It's because without this ground, the basic goodness, awakening would not have been impossible. Nagarjuna, the Buddhist philosopher, says that if there is no gold beneath the ground, then no matter how much you search for it, you will never find it, because there's no gold underneath the ground. So there is no gold. It doesn't matter how much you search for it, you will never find it. So if there is no Buddha nature and no potential, then no matter how diligently we practice, it would be impossible to attain enlightenment. No matter how hard we tried and no matter how long we practice, we would never achieve any quality of enlightenment if the seed is not already present. It's like trying to grow a lotus flower without a seed. Normally, our minds are full of confusion, stress, and all these negative emotions because we see the world through kind of fog, Everything feels blurry. We believe everything is solid, right? Separate, permanent, right? We believe. We believe that tomorrow I'll be here in this world. How do you know? Just believe. We think we're permanent. Oh, tomorrow I'll be here. I'm not going to die. How do you know? You just believe. That's why we are confused, because there's no clarity, and we think everything is solid, right? And separate. I'm different than you. You're different than this plane. We don't feel there is this interconnectedness. So therefore, we cling to things, resist others, and suffer. But enlightenment is when that fog, blurry, clears, and you see the truth, is truth directly. And enlightenment is not about becoming someone different. It's about discovering who you really are, underneath the confusion. So in Buddhism, enlightenment is the realization of your true, your awakened nature, one that is full of clarity, wisdom, and compassion. Yeah, and even after a short sort of good meditation, a very peaceful and relaxed mind can arise, right? If you have good meditation, then you feel this sort of peaceful, and your mind is sort of completely relaxed. We feel that sometimes, not always. So therefore, meditation is the key that helps us discover this nature and eliminate all these negative emotions that covers this nature. So therefore, it is possible for all of us to achieve enlightenment someday. And we will discover our enlightened capacity if we continue to practice. So think about, question yourself, ask yourself, like why do we really we don't practice, we don't meditate diligently? Why? When we talk about the qualities of enlightenment, we really want to develop these qualities. It's amazing. But then it comes, like we don't really practice enough. I don't know why. That means maybe we really don't know exactly what enlightenment means. So yeah, these are kind of like, first we have to understand what Buddha nature is, what enlightenment is. Is it possible to achieve and purify our mind? Is it possible? We don't like all these negative emotions, anger, jealousy, attachment, all this. We don't really want, they hurt, make us suffer, But then we have chance. This is like, I think, really good opportunity, is that we have this precious human life. This is the perfect time, and especially we have precious human life. Top of that, we have just really fortunate to all this opportunity to receive teachings and learning about this information, but yeah, still like, I'm not sure why, right? I really believe enlightenment, achieving enlightenment is possible within this lifetime. And it has this full of capacity, and the qualities we like. And we, if we practice enough, we will discover our enlightened capacity if we continue to practice. So we all, you understand how to practice, but then it's really hard. When we practice, it's just lots of distractions, and we don't feel like, there's no excitement. There's no excitement when you meditate. It's just, but if we practice, continue to practice, that's for sure enlightenment someday. It's possible. It's because the essence of enlightenment is already present within us. We just need to recognize it, you know. Also, recognize it's not difficult, easy, but then it comes and goes, comes and goes. It's not stable. So that's a problem. That's why we have diligently meditate. Now, regarding this point, some people might wonder if the essence of enlightenment, Buddha nature itself, is already present, then why do we still have so many obscurations, obstacles, emotions? Why does not this Buddha nature automatically eliminate all these obscurations? These obscurations arise because of our habits and mistaken views that accumulate over time. So even Buddha nature is present, our mind is still influenced by old habits, that cause, confusion. When temporarily delusions arise in our minds, we are unable to recognize reality in that moment. Even though, as I said, the Dharmakaya, the ultimate nature, is manifesting simultaneously right now. I mean, you're thinking, you're listening, but this ultimate nature, Dharmakaya, is there. But when we are caught up in worldly things, we don't truly see our basic goodness. Remember yesterday I said, it's like a beautiful lotus flower growing in a cave, hidden, unnoticed by anyone, and dies there. That's why meditation and practice help us, remove these negative emotions by increasing our awareness, wisdom, and compassion. The more your heart is filled with compassion, the less room there is for hatred or anger to take hold, take place. Why is that? I mean, we know that, right? There's full of compassion in your mind. There's no room for hatred. Why is that? Because compassion and hatred are opposite mental states. Anger divides and isolates. Compassion connects and unites. So they cannot fully coexist in the same moment, right? Anger and compassion. So when I say that, is this just an idea or something we can feel? It's something you can really experience directly in your practice. Developing compassion naturally diminishes hatred and anger. Do you believe that? Do you know that? Do you feel it? Do you have experience? We all know that. So compassion naturally diminishes all these negative, emotions. It's because you're training your mind in an entirely different sort of direction. So when you cultivate compassion, you are training your mind to respond with kindness instead of blame or aggression, So if you fully developed compassion and no longer experiences anger at all, is that enlightenment? What would you say? I think not quite. But it's a big part of, I would say, it's a big part of enlightenment. And that is a really powerful sign that enlightenment is not far away. If someone has fully developed compassion and no longer experience anger, they have overcome one of the major sort of mental negative emotions, right? Which is a profound achievement. Because anger destroyed everything, the relationships, the happiness, the freedom, everything. It's terrible. But if you develop the compassion in your heart, there's no room for anger. So which is really a profound achievement. But that's not going to happen just listen teachings or understand the Buddhist teachings. You have to practice. So, however, enlightenment is even more than that. The reason you can develop compassion is because you have Buddha nature. Okay? That's the first reason that all beings possess Buddha nature. Now, the second reason is the Attra Tantra says Dharma Dharth is indivisible. So Dharma Dharth here means ultimate nature. Dharma Dharth, ultimate nature. emptiness. Dharmadat is indivisible. Indivisible means there is no separation between things. Even if things appear separate, but their true nature is one. And beyond dualistic sort of, what do you call it, the separation. Emptiness and form are not separate. Do you understand? Dharma that is indivisible. That means emptiness of this cup, this form, right? They're not separate. Samsara, right? Cyclic existence. Samsara and nirvana, the enlightenment, are not two things. That means, the Dharmadat indivisible. Samsara and nirvana are not, we think they are completely opposite, right? But according to the Sutra Tantra, these are not two things. They both arise from same ultimate nature. So the quality of Buddha nature never changes. Beyond change. That means before the path, during the path, even after its completion, it never changes, because it's not something you create. It's your sort of unconditioned nature, right? So it's in innate clarity, wisdom, and compassion. So when you meditate, when you rest in non-dual awareness, you begin to realize that everything is an expression of the same ground, luminous, empty, and compassionate, whatever you call it. But you may think, if all things are not separate from Buddha nature, then, does Buddha experience all these impure sort of, appearances or not? If, everything is has same nature, if everything is not separate from Buddha nature, then the question is, does Buddha experience all these impure things or not? If he does, then all of the phenomena are not perfectly enlightened, right? Because they're impure. But if the Buddha does not experience all this impure, these worldly things, then Buddha cannot know all this appearance at all, right? This impure appearance, worldly things, then Buddha doesn't know. But Buddha knows all phenomena. What they said, like in the sutras, tantras, Buddha has this like omniscient mind. I'm not exactly sure what does that mean. Omniscient mind. But I think that means like Buddha knows all phenomena, like spontaneously, don't have to think. It's just spontaneously seeing everything that appears as great sort of purity. And it is also aware of all the appearances perceived by beings wandering in samsara exactly as they appear to each one of them. It's like in the Buddhist the philosophy, the what do you call it, middle way, madhyamaka, says it's like mistaking a rope for a snake. For example, the Buddha sees it as a rope, but he also understands why others perceive it as a snake. I mean, this is just an example. Buddha sees that they are mistaken sort of perception, seeing a rope as a snake, a rope that exactly like a snake, right? And then we see, oh, there is a snake. We panic, right? Buddha says, oh, it's a rope. When we see rope as a snake, it causes fear and also that lead to other negative emotions and leading to suffering, right? But Buddha knows everything. So dharma dhat is indivisible. That means that everything is connected. That's why Buddhism say everything's interconnected. Interconnectedness. So you have to, that's the one reason that we all have a Buddha nature. Then the third reason we all possess Buddha nature is the Uttarattanta says the potential for awakening is present in everyone. Okay? What does that mean? It means that every sentient being already has the inner capacity to become enlightened, even if it's not fully developed or recognized yet. So this is called the seed, potential, or cause of Buddhahood. For example, lotus flower, can grow from muddy water, not because the mud is pure, but because the lotus seed already has the potential within it. For example, a caterpillar can become a beautiful butterfly, right? Because that potential is built into what it is. Likewise, you and I, already have the nature of Buddha, even if our minds are still ordinary at this moment. So, the path is not about becoming something else. It's about uncovering what already is. It's like, polishing a mirror, or it's like melting ice into water. So you see, enlightenment or awakening is not limited to, special people, or it's not depend on external blessings, you know. So it's already within us. Even if we have committed serious like harm, you know, we still have this basic nature. That's why compassion in Mahayana Buddhism is universal. So we should not think that someone like Buddha Shakyamuni can attain enlightenment, but someone like me has no such capacity. That's wrong. That's a mistaken idea, because we have the same Buddha nature as he does. This means we are capable of practicing the Dharma and attain enlightenment if we truly want to, and if we truly commit to it. So you see, these three reasons explain why all sentient beings have the essence of the Buddha. There are lots of like, I think it's in the Sutra Tantra right now. I think it's translated into English. So if you have chance, you should read. There are lots of reasons why do we have potential, this Buddha nature within us. Because if you want to meditate, that gives you a little bit inspiration, courage, you know. But I think these three reasons you should investigate, think about it. That's what we say. That's how you develop your wisdom. Learning, contemplating. Once you understand that, then you put that into your meditation. That's how you develop your great wisdom. So in Buddhism, that's why the wisdom is the most important, because then you understand clearly. And when you take this path, this journey, you will see the direction. Okay, think about that. Keep that three reasons in why do I have Buddha nature, you know. Think about those things, and we'll talk more. But I think time for meditate. Maybe Buddha nature, you know. Why not? Whatever you want. I mean, you know, I will say this, but whatever you want, meditate. You can meditate whatever you want. Doesn't matter. And sit comfortably, and maybe a little bit, you know, focus on your breath. Don't change anything, just observe, right? Let your mind calm down. Don't worry if thoughts come. Just notice and return to the breath. And then gently sort of shift your attention from the breath to awareness itself. Ask yourself, what is it that knows I am thinking? Don't try to answer intellectually. Just to experience that there is something in you is aware of all experiences. We always like when we ask ourselves or ask something, then already give answer intellectually. That's very, very wrong. Because if you really want to understand the answer, you have to experience. Just take a moment, not just say right away, right? So if you say something right away, that's just intellectual. That doesn't mean anything. So we always try, answer immediately. But in this, when you meditate, just ask yourself something that just try to find the real answer from your experience. So awareness, right? Let yourself sit in that sort of openness, vastness, whatever, for a while, and feel that open awareness. It's not something you created, it's something already within you. So that is a sort of glimpse of your Buddha nature. So this simple awareness has always been there, before or after the thoughts. Self-knowing wisdom, awareness. So now, drop all effort. Don't try to meditate. Don't try to meditate. Let go of all these methods and, just rest in that natural awareness. If you're thinking, I'm meditating, then you don't have this awareness. This awareness, the clear, sort of quiet space that is always been there. You don't have to believe in anything, just to notice what is always there and rest in that awareness as much as possible. Okay? Don't create anything. Don't looking for something special. Nothing. Don't think about the meditation. Just observe and rest in that awareness, this natural self-knowing awareness. Just stay there as much as possible, and then if you lose it, then just try to come back. Meditate for 5 minutes.